If you want to pump your body and expand your mind, there's only one place to go. Mind Pump. Mind Pump with your hosts, Sal DiStefano, Adam Schaefer, and Justin Andrews.
In this episode of Mind Pump, we talk about celebrity plastic surgery. Then there's some informational stuff in the beginning. Adam talks about the status of his...
Don't throw a monkey in my wrench.
You'll know
don't you do that, kids.
That's something we just invented in this episode. You'll see what we're talking about.
No, everybody says that.
Adam talks about the status of his training and his diet, because that's important. We're talking about my mobility training, or lack thereof, and dumbbells and barbells versus machines. And then we get into the questions. We talk about the importance of order exercises during your workout. In other words, when you're doing your workout, does the order of your exercise matter, or can you just mix them up?
Just wing it.
However you want. Then we talk about Prime Pro and how that may not have completed the MAPS series. We actually do a little brainstorming on this podcast. You get to hear our process.
Go inside our brain.
Then we talk about our opinion on yoga and its usability with foam fighters. Yes, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Apparently it's big.
We're signing Adam up.
And don't lie, Justin. You're the one that's going to be foam fighting.
I know.
And then we talk about old man strength. Is there science behind it, or is it just a myth? Lastly, this month we introduced MAPS Prime Pro, our correctional program to help you correct muscle imbalances in your body, self-assess yourself from your wrist, your neck, your lumbar spine, your hips, your feet, your toes, your ankles. And we also have another program called MAPS Prime, which is not the same, but similar in the sense that it helps you prime your workouts. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to create the MAPS Prime bundle. In this bundle, you have MAPS Prime Pro and MAPS Prime, both of which can complement any workout, whether you're doing a MAPS program or you're doing a body part split or CrossFit or whatever. Both of these programs are very complementary. Also, if you're a trainer and you're looking for valuable tools to increase your value to your clients, be able to give them more, this is a bundle you should own. This is something you can use on all your clients. We took both programs, put them together, discounted them greatly. You can find them at mindpumpmedia.com. All right, you ready?
3, 2, go.
You ready, Adam?
Wait, I do kind of want to run through you this little quiz here, okay?
It's a quiz for Sal?
It's a Sal quiz. You're going to have to name the university's fight song. Okay.
Let's see. I don't like sports, and I didn't go to college, so I don't know. Oh, it's Penn State.
That was good. He said, I think you should get an extra point, though, for saying it confidently.
Yeah, that was good.
Just to come up with a name.
Stanford.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Some kind of Native American mascot.
Oh, come on, dude. You got to do better than that.
I feel like that's cultural appropriation. We should probably
they don't like
eliminate
that anymore. They probably don't even sing it anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
You know,
Florida State. Okay, you're terrible in this game. Let's move on.
You know what I fucking hate about that, by the way, is that everybody gets cultural appropriation. Blah blah blah. Nobody says shit about Italians. Every fucking commercial for Italian food has got some stereotypical.
It's a pizza.
It's a family time. We eat the pasta. Blah.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Come on, man. Mario Brothers, most racist cartoon of all time.
It's so good.
Come on, man.
Come on, dude. Don't shit on Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's awesome.
That's like saying I can't identify with leprechauns. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with them. I'm okay with Lucky Charms.
All right. Adam, you need to name this TV show, because I know you suck at this game.
That's why you make me play it. Is it a TV show?
Fuck me. If you can't name it by now.
Is it a game show?
Hello, world. Song gonna sing.
God damn, it's a good movie. It's a good show,
Make
too.
you happy.
Happy Days?
Whatever, Adam.
Partridge Fan.
Fucking Adam, dude.
I don't even know what that was.
Did you have a TV when you were a kid?
No.
That's why.
We didn't. We were poor, dude.
That's right. I feel bad.
Not long after my father died.
I always got him in his soft spot.
He'd have a TV.
Always.
Yeah. I lived in a cave. That's the Partridge Family, dude. You guys never watched the Partridge
I'm
Family?
not that old.
How come Justin knew what it was?
He's almost that old.
That's true. We are,
dude.
We are the wiser.
The girl in the Partridge Family, the daughter or whatever. I had a big ass crush on her. Really? What was her name? Something Day, Laura Day or some shit.
I have no idea. But
she was
Danny
hot.
Bonaducci got jacked.
He got crazy, is what happened.
Crazy and
lost his mind.
Yeah.
Lost his. You know who else lost their mind?
Who?
Carrot Top.
I know.
Oh yeah,
Bro, I just saw a picture of him.
know.
remember all the plastic surgery and steroids
His
he did?
face
Awesome.
Is
He looks totally different.
Like, why? Why did he do all
You know
that?
what always
creature.
Makes, you know what makes me laugh though about that is, first of all, I feel bad for him. He's obviously got. Some,
I do too, man.
He's
I
obviously got
like
some
him.
problems.
I think he's funny. I
He-
think he gets shit on by everybody.
One of my favorite live shows. I've seen a lot of fucking stand up too. One of the best.
Really?
He's top three. Top
So
three.
here's why
He's a good performer.
I feel bad for
he
him,
puts
but
on a hell of a show.
how like. You've how many times have you seen people like
Or he
this,
did,
especially
like,
celebrities,
15
where
years ago, I don't
they're
know.
so unaware
Yeah, I know, right?
that they'll be interviewed by somebody, because this happens to Carrot Top. It's happened to Michael Jackson too when he was alive,
I'm looking him up right now.
and people would ask him like, "Why have you had so many plastic surgeries?" And be like, "I haven't had any."
oh my
it's
god,
like-
just totally
Yeah, like,
oblivious.
are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like, are you in it?
Obviously.
Obviously, you do have had a shit ton. So, what'd you guys do yesterday after we went home from work here?
Worked out.
You just lifted?
Yeah.
Yesterday?
Training.
Did you have a good workout, Adam?
I didn't actually. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So I've now created this new caloric maintenance for myself that's really high. And I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days in a row of like missing my maintenance level. So being in a deficit. And I was really excited to train that day because I had scheduled like it was going to be a heavy, hard leg session. And I wanted to squat and maybe possibly hit a PR. And I knew right away when I got into the bar that I didn't have the gas, I didn't have the energy, I didn't have, and it sucked because I had the mindset because I felt really good, I was very recovered, but being in a deficit for 4 or 5 days in a row like that, it totally hindered my strength. And so I shared this on my Insta story, but it's kind of a cool topic is to. And I think these are the things that we all kind of do that we don't really talk about very much. And I think that's where we always encourage modification and changing things. Is none of us follow the exact regimen that we have planned every single day, day in and day out. Because if you're really good at what you do, you learn to adjust on the fly based off of the signals that you've learned that your body tells you. Right?
How did you adjust?
I moved to a more like functional, mobility driven kind of day. So I worked on range of motion. I did some Koscheck, right? Am I saying that right?
Cossack.
No,
Cossack.
that's the UFC fighter.
Yeah, Cossack.
Josh Kosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did some Josh
Did some
Koscheck
squats.
Cossack. Cossack.
Is it Cossack or Cossack?
Cossack.
Yeah.
Spell it.
Justin, K-C-O-S-S-A.
So,
C-K. Or just K.
Yeah.
So I did.
Anybody, who cares?
Whatever. Google it.
Map squats.
Yeah.
We'll make up a name for it, like we do in our
So
program.
so I did some Cossack squats. I did the earthquake bar or whatever you call that.
Nice.
I forget the name of that.
I just think of the wrestler from back in the day, the Earthquake.
Yeah, like the bamboo bar.
Not the bamboo, but the other one. That's the where the weights are down by my hips and it's really unstable because of that. It's and it's the thick bar. What's it called? I can't think of the name of it. It's not a
Camber bar? No.
It's like a cambered bar,
camber bar, but
it's much more camber than that, right? It's when I get under it, the weights are down here, right? So when it's super,
cool.
Yeah, it's super unstable.
We need to get one of those. In
I do want one of those. I mean, I use when I do it a lot is when I know I need to incorporate more front squats and I'm just too lazy to do front squats.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like front squats for me because of my shoulder mobility, my wrist mobility. Just aren't comfortable and I avoid them like the plague, I'll be honest. But yet I know how important they are for me to do them. And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a variation of that, which it loads it more on the front. So it's definitely more quad dominant for
we
a
used to
squat.
do that in NorCal a lot. You guys would come in and have those workouts. Those are rad. Love those. We have to get those bars in here. So anyways, I changed my routine. I had the intention of going in there a heavy leg day, hard training session, and realized right into the workout that although I felt good as far as inflammation being down, mobility being good, mental clarity being all good,
I didn't have the gas, and I could tell I didn't have the gas. I should have had the gas.
That's kind of like a theme for you, running out of gas.
No gas for me.
Stupid.
For those of you who don't know, he did that in the car with us one time.
Yeah.
We had to walk.
He's got a motor.
I think that this is where a lot of people though make mistakes because of the shit that we talk about all the time on here is the beast mode, no days off, and what's the saying go? Finish the workout. A workout's not done till you finish the workout or some bullshit. I don't.
Oh, but did you die?
Yeah,
right. That memes on like everything.
Right. So why? Like if I'm calorie deprived already. And you can tell your body is not going to hit I'm not going to hit any major strength PRs on a day like that. And you can tell when you start
just
lifting.
Listening to your body.
Yeah, and why push beyond like that? I'm getting all the benefits of fat burning or leaning out because I'm in a caloric deficit.
And you're still sending a signal.
And and you're still sending a solid muscle building signal. And so it's just learning how to weave in and out of that. I think that's
I've made an agreement with myself. I am not going to be squatting over 135 for a while because I attempted to do a pistol squat. And let's just say
you shredded something. Didn't you?
It wasn't even an attempt. It was bad. So I'm doing them with
video.
Of course not.
Oh man,
this is horrible. Ruined mind pump.
Yeah.
I did it with. I was holding on to a TRX. I'm doing it now with a TRX.
Okay.
To like balance. Mm-hmm. And I'm practicing like that, and it's just, and then Cossack squats for me. Mm-hmm. You might as well ask me to do a backflip.
I like how adventurous you are.
Yeah. So that my workout now is totally consistent. It's revolved around all these movements.
Nice.
You want to know the irony though, the weirdness about all that? Here's what's weird. I feel like my legs are growing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, dude, new stimulus.
I mean,
I know that, but but it's weird because my intensity is not even high because as soon as my intensity goes up, my form goes to shit because they're exercising.
Well, this is why
we're in a whole new movement.
This is why we stress this all the time that when you talk about all the different, and I know it's an old principle, but the FIT principle still stands true. The frequency, intensity, time, type is that it's not just intensity is not the only signal that is going to tell your legs to grow, and in fact there's many others. And when most people tend to manipulate only intensity, when you actually go outside of that, it's amazing how much the body responds. Well, this is why
the majority of people only know of that as being
right.
the method
just
to
go harder.
Grow. Yeah,
harder or less hard, right? That's all they know how to do is I'm going balls out or pull back. And I think actually learning to manipulate other factors, I think, is huge. And when you take when I went through that whole mobility, 6-8 months, maybe longer, and I was the same thing. I had the same mentality. I was like, I'm not going to squat over 135. I think I said 225. I'm a little bit stronger than you. So I was like, okay, I won't go any heavier.
You had to throw that one in.
I won't go any heavier than
pound for pound. No chance. Not even close.
So I said I wouldn't go over 225, and then I would continue to work on depth and mobility. And I definitely didn't see. You might be seeing gains. I wasn't seeing gains, but what I didn't see was I didn't regress, that's what I was surprised. And now that I'm back on it, oh man, I was right back to my best squat already within a month of hitting it hard again.
So what I'm doing at the end of my workout, that's how I'm finishing all my workouts now, is I'll sit in a squat, which for me is hard to do, and I'll time myself, and I'm up to 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Are you squeezing, as you're at the bottom of that too?
I'm trying to maintain tension.
Maintain tension.
Yeah, in particular in my ankles and feet because they want to pronate so bad. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting down there trying to activate my feet and trying to get everything lined up and stuff for 1 minute 45. Here's what sucks about that. Sitting in it isn't that bad anymore. The balance is kind of hard for me. Yeah. I've gotten a couple cramps in my abs, which, by the way, if you ever have a muscle cramp in your abs, worst place ever.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what sucks. Getting
Especially
out.
If you're on the toilet at the same time.
Getting out of it sucks. When you're down in there and it's hard for you, and then I get out of it, I feel like I'm 105.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You feel all decrepit.
Yeah. That will all change, dude. It will. Because I tell you what, when we all got together and we first started this, I believe I had the worst mobility. I think if we had,
mine was worse.
You think so?
No,
I don't know.
I'm first place in bad mobility.
It depends on the.
I'm trying to make it sound good.
Yeah.
Mobility. So first of all, you have to understand something here. There's a couple things we're looking at. There's natural body awareness ability that we all have genetically, and I definitely did not win in that department. So that's number one. Number two.
Do you think that's true? Do you think everyone has levels of proprioception that are higher?
Set your patterns early.
Yeah. Then there's that. Yeah. Then there's the fact that you guys, the sports that I was engaged in are different. They required a different type of proprioceptive ability. Like if you put me on the ground on my back, and do stuff like that, then I probably have decent, right? I don't think I'm great, but decent, only because I did jiu-jitsu and stuff like that.
Yeah, not a familiar position for me.
Yeah, if you're on your knees, then you know what you're doing. If you
legs up in the air.
If we're running and cutting and
all
going
your world, dude.
Side to side and jumping and fucking catching and doing shit like that, yeah, no. Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah, we know how unathletic you are.
Yeah,
I would say though, I don't know. I definitely I couldn't sit down in a squat, that's for sure.
But you have before.
Well, now I do.
No. You have before that. You lost mobility.
Oh.
I never had it.
Got you.
You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, you don't think you could have, you really
I
think,
never had good mobility. Never. I'm just tight as shit.
Oh, I think
naturally.
I'm sure when you were playing.
What you see
when you were with jiu-jitsu, there's no way you wouldn't have range of motion.
No, I could not sit, and I still couldn't sit in a squat even when I was doing
even before that, though, for sure when you were a baby playing with toys, you were sitting in a baby position.
No, actually, no. I had an office chair with my pipe. You imagine with my
just like at the keyboard,
with my
hunched over.
I had on a cravat. You know what I mean? I was reading books. Picture
I can totally see this. Yeah.
Picture a baby,
little baby Sal,
little brown baby.
This explains a lot now.
No. I never had
accelerating his knowledge.
Okay, so here's what you need to understand. What you see with me in terms of how I move and how I function in the gym is 100% a product of hard work. 20 plus years of training. You know what I'm saying? So you guys make fun of me, but it's kind of messed up. It's like I'm as good as I'm gonna get. So you guys
come on, man.
You're maxed out.
No. I'm dedicating now. I'm dedicating some
you
time.
haven't even tried yet.
I'm dedicating at least another week to mobility. I'm going back to heavy lifting. Fuck that shit. Anyway, what'd you do afterward, Justin?
Humbling, man.
I went and worked out. I went and worked out a bit with my wife at this gym that's like the family gym. So you get like
the Santa Cruz one.
Yeah, you fight for like. There's 2 squat racks, and anybody who actually trains is like fighting over them the whole time. So, yeah.
There's a picture of me up there. Thanks, Doug.
Baby Sal.
Baby Sal with the pipe.
With the pipe.
So you let me ask you this, Justin. Yeah. You're at the family gym.
Yeah.
With the wife.
Mm-hmm.
After work, you're kind of tired. Do you work out? Like, are you able to focus, or are you kind of like, eh?
No, I mean, no. And see, like your problem with getting like into these kind of less intense positions, and like my problem as of the last year or so has been ramping up intensity because I'm so chill and comfortable, and I'm trying to like kind of flow through these functional movements, and like that's made its way into my workouts predominantly. Well, besides like squatting and deadlifting occasionally, and benching and overhead pressing.
So you're trying to stop training like a pussy.
I need to ramp my intensity.
I just shared this on my IG like a couple days ago that I had the first like what I would consider an intense workout where I was like sweating from it. And
it feels like so long.
It took a month. It took me a month of consistently working my way back in to training to ramp up the intensity and volume. I couldn't even handle the total volume in an like.
And have you come into the problem where you like kind of turn it on too hard and then you just get super sore?
Oh yeah,
because you're an idiot even though you know better.
Did you how much volume? I don't know why I couldn't say that. That was very tough. How much total volume are you doing per body part right now per week?
Per week?
Yeah,
I don't have. I'm not mathematically
inclined.
Yeah. No, I am actually.
No, he's a numbers guy.
But I'm not actually calculating right now. I mean, I've done that so much that I can kind of guesstimate. What I can tell you is I couldn't even complete a full MAPS routine for almost the first month.
So would you say you're doing less than like 12 total sets per body part per week, or is it higher than that?
No,
12 would be like 3.
Yeah,
three days a week.
it was less than that.
Right now, though.
No, now I'm probably up to about, if I had to guesstimate, I'd say I'm probably between 15 15 to 20 sets per body part.
Oh, okay. That's
And I say 15 to 20 because the way I modify per week.
And this is per week, by the way, so the audience knows this isn't one workout. It's split up between 2 or 3 workouts.
Yes.
Maybe a Joe Donnelly workout.
I could totally identify with Ben Pack when we were interviewing him, and he said, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is literally how I do it, where I kind of look at myself in the mirror every week and I go, I could use a little more addressing my shoulders. It looks like I need to address my back a little more. And that is what will.
That's what dictated your workout?
Yeah, that's what will dictate the amount of volume that I place on that muscle group for that week. So it's kind of how I do it right now. But if I had to guess, I'd say between 15 and 20 sets. But I worked up to that. I mean, I tell you what, it was. The first, just like exactly what Justin said, is I was so mobility driven, and so I was doing all of these movements like this that were slow, control. My heart rate's down, my breathing's down, and then all of a sudden,
it's like hard to ramp up my heart rate.
Yeah,
and sustain it. You know, like that's been a challenge.
It took a solid month. It took a solid month before I was getting in the gym. And when I say getting after it, I don't even mean the beast mode. I mean just like moving from exercise to exercise, getting after it pretty good, breaking a solid sweat from that. That's not supersetting. That's not short rest periods. That's just a good, intense, solid workout, a full routine.
Yeah, I'm currently, per body part, I just ramped up my volume. I'm at like 32 sets per body part per week is what I'm doing right now.
Oh shit, your volume's high right now.
It's pretty high right now, and I'm just doing it to see how I feel. As soon as I feel like it's maybe too much, I'm gonna back down. That's around the most. I think the most I'll ever get to is around 40. I'll go up to 40 sets per week per body part. Damn. And that's usually I can stay there for a few weeks before I need to ramp it up. But you guys know I'm really super. If there's one thing that I do very well is I'm very consistent.
Yeah.
Well, hard-headed.
You know what I didn't realize how high my volume was when I was competing until coming all the way back down and then going like, fuck man, I was definitely getting after training.
You were doing a lot. I remember.
Well, it was. I mean,
your conditioning on that end was pretty high.
Yeah. No, I could run through at least double the amount of sets I am, and with maybe one day off a week, if that. Fine in my body. But I think the important note to make is that that's 2 years into competing. So I was like, I ramped up to that. And that's what I'm doing again right now. And somebody, I think, Zach Harding on our forum just recently gave me a little tag and jab about hopping in, or Thomas. It was Thomas who wanted me to hop in a show with him. And I wouldn't get in a show right now because I'm not ready. Like I'm not even close to what my body can handle volume wise right now. So I know I'm not in my peak. Like I'm still ramping up to that. I would want to be hitting that, and then I would want to cut for a show to bring my best physique. So I know right now I could get shredded right now. I think people don't understand that. They don't put that together. At least those that are looking for the most elite level type physique. Like it takes time. It takes time to build that muscle density and that muscle mass, and the amount of food and the amount of volume of training that I have to do to have this 230 pound, lean physique is a lot. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of forcing.
Yeah, it's a lot of pushing my body beyond.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're like, if you're constantly forcing it.
Yeah, it's definitely not where my body naturally wants to be. It takes a lot of, and I love doing it. I really do. I love because I like sharing that process, because I know there's a lot of people that want that. As much as we could talk all day long about how important it is to have this healthy balance, and we should be training around where our body kind of set point is. And if you're having to force yourself to eat more, push beyond these limits, then it's not what your body wants. And we should listen to that. Well, this is true, but I think there's a reason why the supplement industry and magazines and all that shit is so popular and makes so much goddamn money. Is because people want that. People want that, and they want to know how to do that. I want to be able to share with people how to do that as safe and as right as possible, while also not being
man, as long as you're having fun.
Well, and also not to be a fool about it, to think that this is what's ideal for my body. This is not what's ideal for longevity. This is not this isn't the healthiest way I could be living. I'm pushing my body to extremes, which I love to do. I love that we have this control, that if we really put it together, you can actually manipulate and change your body in so many different ways.
I had an interesting realization earlier. someone on the forum was asking how, because I think in our interview with Ben Pekulski, he made the comment that the muscle doesn't know where the resistance is coming from. Doesn't care if it's a machine or a free weight or a cable or whatever, right? And
that's true and not true.
That I was going to say. As trainers, we've trained thousands of everyday people, right? Not just high-level bodybuilders or athletes, but lots and lots and lots of everyday people. And we all know instinctively that that's not true. Like a barbell, row is going to give you different results than a cable row, and it's superior in terms of building muscle. We just know that instinctively. But in terms of the answer to that question, does the body know the difference? Well, do you know the difference? Because that's my response.
You're part of your body. Yeah.
Do you exactly like when you lift a dumbbell and you lift with a cable? Do you know the fucking difference? Well, then stop separating your muscles from you. It is you. It's all of you. If you know the difference, then there is a difference. So of course it's different.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. No, I think there is. I think when you are thinking from a,
it's so simplistic though. That it's just tension. That's all it is. If that's all it was, then we could just create intrinsic tension.
Yeah.
You could create intrinsic tension without weight, or you could have a muscle contraction machine. Just make your muscle contract really, really hard, and then that would do the same thing. Well, there's much more to it. It's
where I connect and I understand, because I used to say this. I used to say that all resistance training is flexion of the muscles with some sort of.
I think we all were trained to say that.
Right. It's flexion of the muscles, right? It's flexion of the muscles. Once you really understand that, how to contract a muscle properly,
then it doesn't matter.
Right. Then it doesn't matter. Then from there, the next thing is changing it up with different stimulus, right? If I do dumbbells all the time, then doing cables, this and that. And we know that the strength curve is different because of the two, and how in gravity, because gravity's playing a role when you talk about a pulley system versus a free weight. So, and each of them have their benefits. I mean, I think the easy, obvious one to me is...
Plus it's more linear.
The
force.
It's more linear, and the fact that, when you're stabilizing a dumbbell versus a cable with this consistent...
Yeah, there's a lot more variables.
There's more to control that. But and anyone who's done it has felt it before.
Yeah,
too.
you feel the difference.
When you sit in a machine and you do a preacher bicep curl versus when you sit in a machine or sit on a preacher curl and you use a dumbbell, there's a different feel to it for a reason.
Well, now besides all that, because obviously the tension is different with free weights because you're fighting gravity versus a pulley or whatever.
Yeah.
Besides all that, because we can explain all those little differences, but then I could respond and say, well, what if I made a machine that mimicked the exact tension load that you would get with a dumbbell? Would they still be different? And the answer is still yes.
Yeah.
It still is yes. It's
how you perceive it, right?
It's much more complex than I think we know how to explain. But as trainers, as coaches, anybody who's coached lots and lots of people will tell you that a barbell squat's going to produce, for most people, more muscle and more strength and better performance than a hack squat or something that mimics that squat, like a Smith machine or whatever. And this seems to be true for a lot of exercises, for most exercises, that free weights just do that.
The debate that you could have with that is that under a machine where there's this controlled tension that's safer, easier for you to stabilize, allows you to concentrate on utilizing the primary muscles you're trying to target and work versus...
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but that wasn't the question. The question is like,
no.
The muscle doesn't know the difference.
No, I know. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, yeah. Can you isolate more depending on the machine? Probably, definitely, because
you can direct them better.
Yeah, it's just removing other factors out of the way, so all you have to focus on is one particular part of the movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like,
I mean, I noticed a difference, and it'll be interesting to see as I peel down how it looks, because to me that's when I'll really know. But I see an aesthetic difference in my physique from the way I've been training now versus what I was training 2 years ago. Just because I'm so much more barbell focused than I was machines. I utilize machines way more, and there's pluses and minuses to both. I saw way more strength gains and size. And more functional carryover from obviously the barbell stuff. The machines, I don't seem to have the same bubbly muscle shapely look to them. Like I feel like I could create more of this cartoonish character out of my physique by targeting all these tiny little muscles on my body.
Yeah, I think that's why you combine the two of them if you're very advanced. But you won't know till you achieve the same conditioning and size, right?
Well,
then you'll really be able to look at the difference. But here's the question. You've worked your legs out for a long time. You did leg presses and hack squats and all these other movements. Is there a difference between those and barbell squats?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm telling you right now is that my gains that I saw from that has been crazy, but it's different. Like you said, even like I had bubblier looking legs before, where now I have like these dense, hard, grainier legs. Now it's weird.
We can speculate why.
Well, I know these are the things. This is why I love what we do, because it's science and we're still learning about it. And when you've done as much as we have with experimenting with yourself and with clients, there's some things that you've seen that you just know is different, and there's something about it, but you can't. We don't explain. I don't have the words to articulate exactly what it is.
Machines are basically creating levers, right? Like they're getting away from like gravitational forces on some level. So it's like no matter how you manipulate that, like you're taking out one component that's already there. From gravity.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because there is no machine that will mimic perfectly what a free weight is. It's not a free weight. It's different. Right?
Yeah,
it's different. But yeah, saying that your muscles don't know the difference. Well, we tend to separate the systems of the body as if they exist independent of us. If I pulled a muscle out of your body and put it on the floor, that muscle ain't doing shit. It is no longer you. It is no longer, so does the muscle know the difference? If you know the difference, then your muscles probably will know the difference as well. And, here's another one. Like, we could hook someone's brain up to a computer and have them completely fucking hallucinate and watch their muscles react as if they were in the actual situation. I mean, so to say that the muscles don't know the difference and muscles are dumb, to some extent that's true, but to a large extent, no. If you know, then they probably know too. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's a they, you know what I mean? It's all of you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bring on the bird.
Surely.
Today's Quah is being brought to you by Chimera Coffee. It's the only coffee that is infused with all natural nootropics for a cleaner, calmer, and more focused buzz without the crash. Click the Chimera link at mindpumpmedia.com and input the discount code MINDPUMP at checkout for 10% off.
It's the motherfucking Quah.
The eagle has landed.
Quah.
All right, our first question is from Matuz Brella. The importance of the order of exercises during a total body routine. Do you always do the same order each workout, or do you mix them up?
Yes.
Next question.
Yes.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Remember Ghostbusters? And they're shooting the freaking the ghosts and shit with their what are their beams called? Their
not ectoplasm. That's the slime.
They're beams or whatever, right?
Photon.
They're photon beams. Like, what do you never do?
God,
you never cross the beams,
it's
right?
It's amazing to me that you have this crazy photographic memory for those things.
What's I mean?
He has it for the song. Where the fuck is my superpower?
Yeah, I wish I had it for like better things.
Me and Justin we can actually connect on pop culture type stuff. But anyway, what do they always say? Don't cross the beams because it could fucking destroy you. Don't mix up the exercise order.
The universe
fucks the whole maps program up.
It's like dividing by zero. You'll create a singularity and the whole universe will
Well,
suck
I think, here's the thing. Yes and no, right? I mean, can you?
I hate it when you say that, by the way.
I know.
That's like your way of not agreeing.
Yes
right. Well,
and no.
Yes and no, right? Yes.
In some ways.
Well, here's the deal. Like, could you order them differently? Well, absolutely. Are you going to potentially get less results going that way? Potentially, yes. Yeah, I think that the way we structured them by doing your big major lifts first.
It's part of the programming.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it's a big key in exercise programming.
Well, we consider how people like how they deal with it, like energy wise and like conditioning wise, and like what is like probably the order of it basically makes the most sense into where, you're not going to be, it's not going to have diminishing factors to it going through the rest of the workout where you get fatigued.
The goal of exercise programming, or the way we put it together in our programs like MAPS, the goal is to maximize all aspects of the programming are designed to and put together and ordered in a way to maximize your results. So it's like this is why we talk about the programming so much of workouts and why it's so important. Yeah. There's all these different factors.
That's an experience component.
And I could try and list all the different factors. We actually did this once. We went up to, I don't remember where we were, but we were putting a program together, and we listed all the things you have to consider when you're programming a workout. And that list got massive, and then you start to get real fucking deep in terms of how they interact with each other, in what order, and which one follows what. And
right.
So anyway, it's a part of the programming, and it's designed to totally maximize your results. This is why when people follow good exercise programming, they just
feel the difference.
People will start MAPS, for example, and they're doing a normal workout or one they found in Muscle and Fitness or whatever, and they're blown away. And it's not magic; it's good programming.
And we've mentioned this before, but let's talk about some of the key things that we did, because the list is so fucking ginormous. Let's talk about some of the big rocks that make a big difference and that we knew would change things for a majority, right? Because there's always exceptions to the rule and everything too.
And you can mix up. By the way, every once in a while, mixing up the exercise order is a good thing. By the way,
yeah, and that's why I said yes and no, right? It's yes and no.
Now you threw a monkey in the wrench,
right? By doing it intermittently. It wouldn't be a bad thing. Did you say throw a monkey in the wrench?
That didn't work.
I just missed that right now.
Wow.
Did he just say throw a monkey?
It's a thing now. We just started
It's a saying.
Yeah. So
people say that.
In my opinion, I'd like to hear what you guys think. In my opinion, some of the big things that when people started doing MAPS and they were just like fucking mind blown, like, oh my God, it was like this program changed so much, or I saw so much results. Well, that's the magic behind that was we knew that most people were missing out on the frequency key. Frequency is king. It is king when it comes to building muscle. And because the market has been selling everybody intensity for so long, we knew that a majority of the people were missing out on that piece. Just because we've trained thousands of people. When you've trained so many clients, you start to realize there's a common theme. And one of the common themes is most people that would hire one of us would be overtraining their body and they wouldn't be taking advantage of frequency. So we knew by splitting the muscle up over 3 days in a week versus a body part split like most people are doing, we knew right away the body's going to respond for that. So that's the big one, right? Was that the frequency aspect that we included in. Then we also made sure that the major compound lifts, the big barbell lifts, were a staple in every single workout, which there's another thing that when you start to analyze the average Jane or Joe in their workout, most people don't even have those lifts in there. A lot of people skip those lifts because they're hard. So they avoid them when they're the biggest bang for your buck. So not only do we make sure they're in the program, we make them the foundation of every
It's just the
workout.
most effective exercises. I mean, you have to take into account like what adaptation you're after, what exercises you pick for that particular adaptation, the rep range, depending on the type of adaptation, the rest, the tempo, then the exercise order and how they follow each other. And then you have to count for the following workout and how that communicates with the first workout and also moving forward to the next workout.
Yeah, what you do in between with the rest.
Then there's phases and how the phases communicate, and all of them are geared towards a particular type of adaptation. So one of the pieces is order of exercises. So for the most part, 95% of the time, if you're following a program that's programmed out by somebody that you trust, like if you're following MAPS, follow the order of the exercises. It would be no different than you saying, hey, can I just do a totally different workout? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's that important.
Well, somebody
like I'm over this.
Somebody just
you don't want to throw a monkey in the wrench.
You don't want to throw a monkey in the wrench. Yeah. It's just like don't do it.
That'll fuck everything up.
Yeah, it just ruins it all.
Somebody just posted on our forum that they just finished the great transformation photo, by the way. They went through the whole RGB, right? So they went all the way through.
I saw
red.
that. Yeah, looked really good.
Right, red, green, and then black. And then he says he was asking people's recommendation on what they would do next. And I asked him what his goal was. I actually haven't seen what he's responded. This was just this morning. But that's kind of along the lines of of this is like we recommend that anybody who has MAPS is like literally follow it to a T. Every one of them all the way through. If
just
you
give
can.
it a fair shot first.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, once you've run through the whole thing, like definitely look at it again, assess it, and see what you can modify and like incorporate and get add certain things. Like Adam was talking about that one bar that he'll use for squats. That's different. Like think outside the box in terms of that, but like try and follow the formula and the sequence.
Yeah, once you know your body too, as you start doing these workouts, then you can start to kind of listen to your body a little more and know how to modify. But I mean, real easy in a nutshell. You got to realize that the big compound challenging movements are going to tax you more than the smaller, maybe single joint, less taxing exercises. And so I'll give you two extreme examples, right? A deadlift versus a bicep curl. Like which one is more taxing? Which one is more complex? Which one requires more of your cognitive ability and function to focus on the technique and what you're doing versus one that doesn't really require as much? It only makes sense that when you have your most energy, when you're at the least amount of fatigue, you're most focused, which is at the beginning of your workout, that's where you would take those big complex movements and place them at the beginning.
And your secondary muscles are not burnt out. You're not.
And there's that too, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you are going to do a bench press, doing a shoulder and a tricep exercise before it is not an ideal situation. You're not going to get the most out of that bench press, and the bench press is what gives you the most. It's like it's all kind of mathematical when you think about it, right? Like if we gave it a point system, like okay, all these exercises give you points towards getting towards your goal. And so if you valued a bench press at 5 points, a tricep and a shoulder exercise, like a basic, dumbbell,
I just keep thinking as you're talking about this, somebody right now is writing an app based off of what you're talking about.
That's actually, would be kind of cool.
Wouldn't that be sick?
We talked about that, about doing an app that would do that, but man, the moving parts and how would you enter that into an algorithm?
It would be hard, but
we need like a fucking.
We keep waiting for a developer.
So people get an idea that if your bench press gives you 5 points and the shoulder, lateral raise and the tricep push down are 1.5 points. You want the most energy going into the one that's going to give you 5 points, so you get the most amount of points out of it. Because if you half-ass the bench press, even though it's worth 5 points, you may only get 4 out of it, and you might get all 1.5 points out of the shoulder exercise and the tricep exercise. Regardless, right? So think of it like that. Hopefully, I didn't just confuse the fuck out of everybody. I just threw a monkey in it.
I don't know where that came from. Oh my God.
Quick commercial break. Hey, people ask us all the time how they can support Mind Pump. Here's what you can do. You can go to www.brain.fm/Mind Pump and get 20% off Brain FM for meditation or focus. You can also go to audibletrial.com/Mind Pump and get a 30-day trial plus 1 free audio book. Lastly, you can go to getnatureblend.com/Mind Pump and you will get a discount on Ben Greenfield's CBD product.
Our next question is from Fit Sean Fat to Fit. You guys mentioned now that Prime Pro is out that MAPS is complete. So what types of programs are you guys going to launch down the road? Or are all full programs done with?
So we thought Prime Pro would complete.
We thought
MAPS.
that was the.
And then I had a dream last night.
Stupid.
And it came to me.
That was like, when Star Wars finally finished, you're like, I guess. That's the universe. All right. Now they keep going.
I was the one who said that, and I don't think I think I came off a little wrong when I said that, like, it's complete. What was complete and what I meant by that was, we know at one point a big part of where Mind Pump will go is to training the trainers. And that's our passion. It's actually more than anything else we talk about. That's what we love to do is to help.
We're actually better at that.
We are
even training clients.
We really are. So I look forward to the day that we are focused a lot on the fitness professionals out there that are giving this type of information. We knew that if we were going to do this on a large scale, that we would need all of these maps put together. So now that we now have that, so we are in a position now. If we were to, let's say, train 50 trainers on how to be better trainers. We have all the tools from, a assessment and understanding dysfunction and joint pain and all the things that
to tap into our minds of how we would program like every individual and like what that would look like. There's a lot that we can do with just that piece alone, not to mention even the business side of it that I think that would be a great contribution.
Right.
Exactly. When all the MAPS programs now kind of cover the major, like the bases, right? So we've covered the entry level, real foundational type, build general strength and general muscle. With MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance covered that functional kind of athletic, side of things. Aesthetic was our competitor, so really learning to sculpt the body. Prime obviously had to prime your workouts and post-prime them, and then we got Prime Pro, which is your assessment type. You have your one that does no workouts where you just can do them at home. Like we've covered all the bases, but if we did write more programs, we definitely could. It would probably be either more specific, like programs for specific sports, or we would go back through our programs and revamp them and maybe do a pro series of all the MAPS programs. Because I could definitely see us doing that. Like I could see a MAPS Anabolic Pro.
Yeah, there's a lot more
MAPS
coaching
Aesthetic
points
Pro
that we can add to the programs.
Well,
for
like
sure. I think
like
people
MAPS
would love.
Aesthetic. Like MAPS Aesthetic is a great program for stage competitors, bodybuilders, physique, bikini. Like you could easily do a MAPS Aesthetic Pro and include like the prep, like the contest prep side of it, like what you do up until the day of competition, type of deal. Like I could see that too. I could see a performance like
adding very specific like competitive lifts, right? So like I'm doing like a power clean
or specific sports
or
Olympics or exactly.
specific attributes. Like MAPS Performance Pro is like endurance athlete, strength athlete,
or like
movement.
combine training.
Yeah.
Like these kind of tests. I thought, completely about, running through different techniques and ways to prep before these types of tests and markers that you're trying to achieve.
So I guess the point was that it's not complete as it's
never over,
right? It's
over.
Man. What's complete is that we now have the tools to, I think, train trainers to be better trainers with their clients, and that was the main thing for us. I think we have tons of ideas on how we can evolve each one of the programs because there's a ton that we can build upon them. And even, getting into coaching points on all those programs, I think that's a big one for us. So I think a lot of what we're going to do now will be spent working in the business. That's been the big focus for July and all the projects for us is to enhance the process for somebody who's coming on to Mind Pump and just getting started with MAPS and experiencing everything that we have right now. So we're trying to enhance that process.
Ray De Queso is asking, what's your opinion on yoga for flexibility and mobility training? He is a foam fighter and is debating adding a yoga practice to his strength training.
What's a foam fighter?
No.
Is that like LARPing?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Wait,
yes,
I remember you showed us a video.
They have foam. I looked it up.
Whack each other.
They have like foam swords and shit.
No, that's not real.
Yes, it is.
Doug, after you answer this question, you have to show me this.
It's a thing. It's not just like.
Well, let him finish it.
Well, he just wants to know if adding yoga is going to be a good idea for his.
Well, first we need to see what foam fight.
We got to get the full picture.
Yeah,
here
you got to do that whole. I have the video here. Actually, I just pulled it up.
I would recommend probably something that's going to help you with not getting your ass kicked. That's what I would do. I would do maybe some strength training.
Like stop foam fighting.
Yeah,
then you will get your ass kicked all the time.
Is it for real?
They'd argue the opposite.
Look. So they have
100%. This is one of Justin's.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So.
They have shields.
They're pretending they got their legs cut off, so they're like crawling.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit pause there, Doug. Yeah. It's just loud there. See? And they throw spears made out of foam.
Yeah, you make fun, dude. I would totally do this.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
So let's just pretend for a second we have a time machine and we took like the average guy from like 1500 something and brought him forward, and he's like, what do men do nowadays? And like, let me show you. And he sees this shit. What would he think? What the fuck happened to you guys?
You take a sword and slice everybody's
We've
head
become
off.
pussies. No,
I didn't know that was real.
Yeah, they fight, they have rules, and they hit each other with foam weapons.
I love it. I would love to host a LARPing event here.
No, it's not LARP.
We should,
Foam fighting, they hit each other and the goal is to fuck with each other.
I feel like it's really close, though.
You went into the physique world, I think I should enter. Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind.
You would be the
There
only
is
one.
no doubt in my mind.
Whack people.
This is one of Justin's fans.
You kidding me? I will whack
100%.
people.
For sure, Justin's fan.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
My people.
I don't think.
I bet they met Justin at one of these.
I don't think Justin should do this because
so, probably.
I feel like Justin would be the fucking asshole that puts like a thumbtack in his foam sword.
They're big.
Yeah, they're
No,
huge.
I would get the heaviest one and knock people out.
Yeah, they have big battles.
Nobody has arms.
No. So foam fighting, it's an activity, requires lots of movement, like
my
a
God,
sport.
that's so funny.
Yoga will definitely help with mobility and flexibility.
We're gonna have to do something special. Doug, can you please put this guy's name down because I think I want him to call in, and I just want to.
I literally want to attend one of these things.
Well, I
That'd
just
be
want to
amazing.
ask how one gets into this.
Yeah.
Where does no one ever invited me to one of these. Was I not? I don't understand how does somebody?
How does these even start? Do
we have?
You were too busy being cool, Adam.
Do we have these around? Do we have? You should know this then. I don't understand how
I got tired of rolling dice.
This is far too dangerous for me.
Far too dangerous.
Oh, you get hit with a foam sword really hard in your eyeball. You could probably get a little.
Do we have these locally? Can we do a Google?
I don't know.
San Jose foam fighting.
Find ones.
I feel like we're in Silicon Valley. I feel like the largest league is probably here.
Yeah.
That's what
I feel like San Jose is probably
Silicon
the biggest.
Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, they're leagues.
I don't know, but if they do have a league,
Yeah,
I would bet San Jose is a champion team.
Okay, we need to go back and ask the question because I totally forgot what we're being asked right now.
The question is,
this is all news to me right now.
This took me.
the question is, will yoga benefit his flexibility and mobility? And then he said he's a foam fighter. And my answer was, yoga is an excellent structured form of functional flexibility training. So the reason why I'm saying it that way is you can individualize functional flexibility training and it'll be better than yoga.
Dude, do MAPS Prime Pro.
Yeah,
if you want something to work on your flexibility and you want something more specific to
specifically mobility. So
Yes.
you got strength in that range
exactly.
of motion.
That's why I say that, because that's the one knock that I have on yoga. Is that because like most things, because we're creatures of habit, we find
People
something we
think
like.
this flexibility is what you're trying to achieve, when in fact you need supported strength in that range of motion that you're utilizing.
So before you guys continue, you need to know that real yoga. What I mean by that,
Well, you can't say
guys
that.
No. You guys are referring to like yin yoga,
which is super popular.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as popular as the normal, sun salutation type classes like vinyasa flow. Like that's the most, if you go to a yoga school, most classes will be the ones that take you through these poses. They will have probably a yin yoga type class, but it's going to be like once a week. And
I don't know. Most of the ones that we had teaching at 24-hour fitness and that we had around the area were your basic.
So yin
yoga, where
yin would be more like you get down on the floor, get in the stretch, and you sit there for
stretch.
Yes, you lay there, you breathe. That's
most yoga
I've been doing.
Yeah,
like that.
no, most yoga that people do is this active form where you get into these positions. Now, can you be
tense up in those forms?
Can you be passive in those positions? Yeah, so I can get in Warrior 1, Warrior 2, or whatever, and I can allow my joints to support me and let my feet, press out against the grippy mat, and I can kind of sit in this position, which most people do.
Yeah.
But a yoga instructor, or the good ones at least, and I know because my girlfriend's a yoga instructor, she'll tell you like you are not supposed to sit in this stretch. You are supposed to be activating these muscles. Like when you're in Warrior,
I mean, that's an important thing, that they need to reiterate to a lot of people that go to these classes.
Yes, and I've been to some great studios, and the yoga instructors will talk about that quite a bit. But by doing that, by activating or being active in these positions that put you into stretch, you do increase functional flexibility because you're connecting to the stretch. So this is why I say, and why I've always said yoga, if you're trying to pick a structured like class type setting, and you're like, look, I like to take a class, I want to take something structured, but I also want to work on flexibility and mobility, there's nothing better than yoga for that specific thing. If you want something specific to yourself, Prime Pro or something individualized like that will blow it away. Just because it's going to be based on your body, not just following a class or whatever, or a series of poses.
Can you spell his REY? What's it? REYD? What is it?
Work on that shoulder mobility for those strikes. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! Like he's legit. Even his Instagram is a picture of him getting ready to foam fight.
Of him foaming.
And he looks like a handsome, cool dude.
I want to know all the terminology, all the little
he phoned me.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I want to let him. I think I want to let him call in. And
you
I wanna
smite
ask him
thee.
some questions.
Well, let's keep going. Don't say that yet.
I just want to ask. I want to know how this. I want to hear this short.
I'm curious as well.
Right.
So, just call in if
I don't know. Have you ever met a foam fighter?
I found a whole website devoted to it and realm locators. So you can find all.
Oh, you just conveniently found that, huh?
I did.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Of course they would call the locations realms.
Realm locator. Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Belagarth.
Is there a
Medieval Combat Society.
wow?
Yeah.
And now, how many? Is there a lot, Doug?
They're all over.
Holy shit!
Oh my God.
All over the United
Look at
States.
that.
All over
Hey,
the world.
maybe we should compete.
I'm telling you, dude. Yeah.
I don't think Justin.
I'll be like the mountain.
You'd be aggressive.
Ah, yeah.
Could we please
She'll
do
be a berserker.
a YouTube vlog
Or like a
series of
Viking.
Justin goes LARPing?
That's what
Yes. No, not LARPing. Foam fighting.
My character is gonna be a Viking.
Justin
Just
goes
pillages. I just pillage.
Rape and pillage.
Rape and pillage. I don't have no structure. It's all anarchy. I get off a boat and just pillage.
Listen,
Everybody tries to kill me, but they can't.
Yeah.
Because I'm the Viking.
You're going to get kicked out. Yeah. All right. Next one, Doug.
I am the axe-wielding Viking.
All right. Stop throwing a monkey in the wrench.
Quick commercial break, you guys. We keep getting asked all the time, how can I support the Mind Pump family? Here's one of the best ways you guys can. You guys love that Chimera coffee that we have. Chimera coffee with a K. You go to chimeracoffee.com, put in the discount code MindPump for 10% at the checkout. Also, if you guys want to know how I have this luxurious beard and you want one too, go to bigtopbeardcompany.com, put in the discount Mind Pump again, but this time for 33% off. Also, you guys, if you guys have not tried Ben Greenfield's new bars out, they're fantastic. If you want some, go to bengreenfieldfitness.com/naturebite, put in the code Mind Pump and get 10% off. Go check it out.
All right. Our next question is from Indiana Back Doc. He's heard you mention old man strength. Are you referring to endurance or power?
Neither. Old man strength.
It's just strength.
It's just pure strength. And I think, and this is, we're speculating, by the way.
No,
a lot of times it's the grip.
No, listen, before you can nerd out here, okay? We're the people have said old man strength forever. Now, I don't know who invented the saying, but what I interpret that is like anybody who's ever arm wrestled their dad or grandpa, and he picks up this heavy bag of cement you just would never have thought he could. We attribute that to your central nervous system. That because you've been on this earth for so long, even if you're like, and Sal gives a great analogy of, think of your central nervous system like your amplifier, think of your speakers like your muscles, and even if you don't have very big speakers because you don't train them all the time and stimulate them all the time, you have small speakers, you might have small looking muscles, you're extremely strong because you have this strong amplifier, and that's just because
your body just communicates better.
Right. You've been speaking to those muscles for
force is
decades.
The communication of cells, is like Dr. Andrea Spina talks about, and it just makes so much sense. Like you've built this communication system that's so efficient and loud all over those years of constantly doing things that taught it, the most efficient pathway to achieve the objectives.
Now, of course, this could totally be overridden by being super sedentary and not moving and stuff. So if you're,
you could be sending all the wrong patterns.
Yeah, if you're 50 and you're totally inactive, well, you're not going to be as strong as you were when you were 20.
And it's really that guy. You know who it is? It's normally the carpenter dad.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the plumber dad, the dad that has been physically active for so many years.
Or someone who's been lifting.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys seen in the gym the freaking, the 50-year-old dude that's just deadlifting and fucking lifting like ungodly weight.
Shakes your hand and almost like breaks your bones.
Yeah. I mean, you lose agility, you lose speed, mobility, power. Boxing. In boxing, there's a saying that the last thing to leave a boxer is his power. His power.
Right, you lose speed right away.
Now, part of that isn't because they're necessarily stronger, but because again they know their bodies so well, they're able to place that punch and generate strength because of their technique very, very well.
They've been greasing the groove for 50 years. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? They've been greasing the groove for 50 years.
I'll tell you what, right now, if you encounter a 50, 60-year-old retired boxer on the street, and you're thinking you're a badass and you're going to start a fight,
I saw that
he's going to
video.
knock you the fuck out. I've seen this in person. I've seen this happen in person. If you go on YouTube, there's many videos of these like 57-year-old or 60-year-old boxers just putting kids to sleep because they're testing them out. I mean, they're in their bodies that whole time. They're very connected to it. They know how to move it. They know how to generate the most force. It happens naturally. And here's a good example of what we're talking about. You could take a 17-year-old giant kid who just went through puberty. He's 200 pounds, looks like a phenom, right? And you watch them move and stuff, and they're goofy. And they're not goofy because they're goofy people. It's because they literally just grew their body, and they're getting used to it. You see this with dogs. You ever notice you get like a big breed dog, like a Rottweiler, and they're full size.
That's like Great Danes and Mastiffs are like this. It's funny to watch them as puppies.
Yeah.
When they're like 7 months old and they're like 200 pounds. Like I used to mess with our Mastiff that we had, and we'd push on him, and he'd be all tripping over his feet and stuff, and he's just big and clumsy.
I mean, imagine right now, if you're listening right now, imagine if you had magic and all of a sudden you woke up tomorrow and you were 4 inches taller and 15 pounds heavier. Okay, how clumsy would you be with that new body? Yeah. That's an extreme analogy, but if you're a 45, 55-year-old man, you've been fit, you've been active that whole time, you've got incredible neuromuscular control of your body. So although you have lower testosterone, and although you may actually have smaller muscles, that strength is there, and sometimes better. Many times it's better. So.
Well, you made a good point. I'm glad you said that too. When I mentioned that, is that it does matter that they've been using it, right? Because you could also have the other extreme of somebody who is disconnected, and because typically as we age, if you're not using it, you lose it, right?
Shut it off.
Real fast.
Yeah, you will shut it down, and that old man strength won't apply. So old man strength really applies to those physical fit dads that are been lifting and exercising and doing stuff their whole life, and even though they don't look all big and muscular, the motherfuckers are strong.
So my dad is a great example of this, and although now he's got lots of pain throughout his body because of just the hard labor.
So my stepdad's
since he was a child, right? Even now, you guys have met my dad. Even now, you shake his hand and you're like you're grabbing a brick. But I remember probably 7 years ago. So he was like 49 or 50. He would come to my jiu-jitsu classes. So I was training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm in my late 20s or early 30s. My dad is active in the sense that he does, construction work or whatever. So that's his exercise, right? He comes to these jiu-jitsu classes, and he has a judo background. So my dad was a kid. He did a lot of judo, but then he didn't do any as an adult. And he's taking these classes, and everybody who's going against him is like, "What the I can't move him." He feels like he's a statue. And especially in the stand-up, because of his judo background, I remember there was this one dude that took the class. It was this weighed about 300 pounds. He was a Canadian pro football player who would come down, and then he took jiu-jitsu. So he was a white belt. He didn't have any technique, but he's a big dude, and he was remarkably mobile. The guy could do cartwheels and all kinds of stuff. Just a big athlete. And we were all doing stand-up for throws or whatever. So my dad's got technique, but he's also got this silly old man strength, especially in his hands, which he's always used a lot for his whole life. So he goes against this big dude, and the big dude can't throw my dad. My dad can't throw him because he's so big. They break grips. The guy reaches forward to grab my dad's gi, and my dad grabs his hand and just fucking crushes this big dude's hand, and the guy taps out, and the whole class was
just by crushing his hand.
He took his, how you do that where you interlock fingers, and he sucked him in and just bent his wrist back.
Oh yeah.
And this big 300-pound dude hits the ground and is like tapping like crazy. The whole class was just busted up laughing.
Oh yeah.
And then he would always mention old man strength, iron grip. He called him an old man strength. And I was like, man, I had to grow up.
No,
with that
it's
shit.
true. Did you guys watch the Ultimate Fighter season where Ronda Rousey was on there? Her mom comes down and like whoops up on everybody.
Oh no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Old woman strength.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it applies to men and women. It's not just a man thing. It's just if you've been.
That's actually very true. Because when I was a kid, my grandma would fuck you like you couldn't. She grabbed your ass, you're going to stay exactly where you're being held.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like you're a 13-year-old boy and you can't get away from your grandma. Yeah. That's very humbling.
That's right. Stay active.
Hey, check it out.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, we post a new video every single day on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, what are you doing with your life? The name of the channel is Mind Pump TV, MPTV. Subscribe. Also, if you want to ask us a question that we answer in an episode like this one, the place to do it is on Instagram, and the page to do it on is Mind Pump Media. We all have personal pages on there as well. Mine is Mind Pump Sal, Justin's Mind Pump Justin, Adam is Mind Pump Adam, and Doug is Mind Pump Doug.
Thank you for listening to Mind Pump. If your goal is to build and shape your body, dramatically improve your health and energy, and maximize your overall performance, check out our discounted RGB Super Bundle at mindpumpmedia.com. The RGB Super Bundle includes MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance, and MAPS Aesthetic. 9 months of phased expert exercise programming designed by Sal, Adam, and Justin to systematically transform the way your body looks, feels, and performs. With detailed workout blueprints and over 200 videos, the RGB Super Bundle is like having Sal, Adam, and Justin as your own personal trainers, but at a fraction of the price. The RGB Super Bundle has a full 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can get it now plus other valuable free resources at mindpumpmedia.com. If you enjoy this show, please share the love by leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and by introducing Mind Pump to your friends and family. We thank you for your support, and until next time, this is Mind Pump.